Hello everyone, this is Dom, and we are in a brand new series, brand new game. We're playing Kerbal Space Program today. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call this series, but it'll probably be in the description somewhere. So, we're going to go ahead and start a new game, and the reason why I wanted to play this game specifically today, is because I've been playing it in the past, and there's been a new update. Down in this bottom right hand corner you can see we're on version 0.22, etc, etc. All that stuff mumbo jumbo back past there is a little bit less important in my opinion. For those huge KSP junkies, it's more important. So I have been playing on the new career mode, and it's kind of inspired me to create this series. So we're gonna go ahead and start a new one, and even to start off the series I even put my own little flag in here, so I guess you guys would probably be able to see that in the future. Kind of small, but I'm pretty sure you guys will recognize it. And we're gonna do Dom LP. Ooh, apologize. So in career mode, you have to manage all the aspects of your space program. Cool. Note, this mode is still under development. Either way, doesn't matter. So the difference between career mode and the other modes that the other mode that used to be, is the other mode was sandbox, and with this specific mode we can only have parts available to us to build rockets at specific times. So for example, we just clicked on, let's do that again, this is our research and development building here. There's multiple buildings you can click on, but this is in my opinion the most important upgrade to this whole new version, is this building. This is the, what is that, astronaut complex. We have the space plane hangar, we have our vehicle assembly building, and we have our tracking station along the launch pad. So I'm not exactly sure what this building is, truthfully. Either way, this building right here is all of where all the research is done. So if you click on that, you get basically a big tech tree. I can't zoom in anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. So we start off with specific parts, and what I need to do is get science, which is all the way up here, and I need to find 5 science just to unlock the basic rocketry. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do one real fast. Vehicle assembly building. This is where you get all of your vehicles built. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick my command pod. This is the only one we have right now. In sandbox mode you'll have a lot more. There's a lot more options. So I think what we're gonna do, the first thing I always do is name them. What am I gonna name this? Is there, oh no, I don't have any. Oh, let's see. No, we're just gonna do this for, no, Dom Mark 1. That's what we'll call it. Anyways, Dom Mark 1. So we have our first capsule. We have to somehow propel it, and my first choice, just for the first launch, we're going to do solid rocket booster right on the bottom. And to get back, we don't have really anything at all. To safely return, we're going to go ahead and throw a parachute on the top. Boop, boop, boop. Now, to collect science, there's specific things you have to do. There's a whole list of things, but first what we're going to do is collect as much science as we possibly can from our launch pad, or from this first launch, so we can get our other parts. So science is observed by your Kerbonauts, which at this point I'm using Jebediah. So you can use Bill or Bob, but we are going to use Jebediah because he's awesome like that. He's currently will be sitting in our rocket ship here when we get ready to take off. One way to basically relay the information is through Communitron or some sort of other antenna, which we might unlock some later on. I actually know that there's one you unlock later, but we don't have it, so this is the only one we have. It requires electricity to transmit stuff. And as you can see, our electric charge on our command pod has 50 electric charge. So it takes 10 electric charge to do 1 packet. of size 2. So it depends on what kind of science we have and how big the things are that we need to translate back. But I'm going to put one on here just in case we want to send some information back. It's not going to hurt us in any way. It's so light, it's kind of negligible. So I don't think there's really anything else we can really do. I could have made this, you know, without a solid rocket booster and done the fuel tank and this thing, this big engine right there, but we're just going to try it this way and hope for the best with our parachute. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's save this. Ooh, play Gary's mod. Cool. As you can tell, I'm playing in Steam, which is really cool. Awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know if the throttle really matters, truthfully. Whoa. This is this is your launch order. All the way in the left-hand side right here is your stages. So what I'm going to do is you can add tabs and stuff like that, subtract them with these buttons over here. But I'm going to go ahead and move this rocket to a stage below my parachute. And capsule is always going to be the top. I don't think it has to be specifically, but it always puts it there by default. Either way, the first stage, whenever you activate it, you activate it by pressing spacebar. It will activate them all in a specific order, so you can change them as you need. So it's pretty nice. Okay, I think we're ready for takeoff here. I'm going to go ahead and do crew report. Scientific value 1.5. So this is one of the ways we can get our own, all of our science, basically doing crew reports or recovering vehicles. So at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and transmit that data. As you can tell up here, our electric charge went down. It took 30 electric charge, so that was probably 3 packets just to transmit that data. So basically, we probably don't have a way of transmitting data anymore whenever we get to the next stage. So we're going to go ahead and lift off and just see what happens. Okay, as I go up, oh, I forgot to turn on my stability control. I have built-in stability control in our capsule here. You basically can go ahead and rotate your thing left and right with the WASD keys, W-A-S-D. But also it has stability control that can be easily maneuvered and kind of sticks to where you want it to go. So you really don't have to mess with it too much. So that is the complete length of our flight. We made it to just above that atmosphere right there. Crew report. Cool. It's inverting. You watch the waves roll off the coast. So we're going to keep on going here. And of course, keeping stability requires some sort of electricity because they're little, I guess they model them as little motors inside of your capsule here. So we've lost a little bit of electricity in our resources. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this report. But I did that by right-clicking and do a crew report. And we are now falling back to Kerbin. That's the name of the planet that we're on here. And I want to show you something real fast, guys. But first, I'm going to change the stage. So we're going to go ahead and press our space bar since our rocket fuel is done. Normally, I'd have some sort of separator that would kick it off, but we don't have that part yet. So what I'm going to do is just hit the space bar, and it'll deploy our parachute. It'll have some sort of drag for a little bit. And I'm also going to turn off our stability control, because it's fighting against the parachute right now. Might as well leave it off. And there we go. Turn that on and off. You could either, I think there's just a button for it. And the button is T. And as you can tell, this light right here just turned on, which is RCS. You have parts in the future that will control that, and you can turn that on and off with R. You can turn your spacecraft left and right. Rotate it with the Q and E keys. And there's also a huge amount of controls depending on which mode you're in. So docking, orbit, staging, lots of different stuff. So I would recommend looking at the wiki for the control list. So this is going to go ahead and we're just going to fall back to Earth, Kerbin here. And the parachute will just deploy at just about 500 meters. But right before we do that, I'm going to take you out. So this is what Kerbin looks like. I think you guys partially noticed what this planet looks like. Looks kind of like the current Earth you're living on. We'll get back to that in a minute. Jumping back into the spacecraft here. We're just about at parachute deploying time. And boom, there it goes. Just about 500 meters above the ground. So we're going to, relative to the surface, 7.8 meters per second. And that's actually fairly slow. Well, at least for rocket science, it's slow. And we are just going to go ahead and nice and slowly touch down on the ground, even though we still have the rocket booster attached to us. It's fairly heavy. It's fairly heavy, so that's one of the reasons why we're going a little bit faster than I'd like before we hit the ground. Normally, I will leave one of these parachutes on top. We'll enter the atmosphere with just the capsule and potentially an antenna or batteries attached to the capsule. So we'll hit the atmosphere, it'll slow us down, we'll deploy the parachute, and we'd hit the ground with just the capsule. Very, very slowly at least, or in the water is always nice too. Yep, there it goes. Just as I expected. It doesn't have a very high impact tolerance, so we were going too fast for it to basically survive the impact. But we did. This has a very high impact tolerance, and also the the booster kind of cushioned our fall. Also, what I'm going to do is go ahead and jump out with Jebediah right now. But before I do that, I'm going to switch my camera to the inside of the capsule. That's another feature that they included in a long time ago, but I've always loved it. Ooh, that's what happens if, no, we can't do that. Anyways, but it's just kind of a cool view. There's a bunch more capsules, and they all look different on the inside. You can see other crew members if you get a multi-crew member capsule. So we're going to go ahead and change it back out of that with the C key. If you've wanted to know, there's really no button to get out of it. Like on screen, you can't click anything. So clicking the C key will get you out of it. And we're going to go ahead and get an EVA with this guy. So that's was in the bottom right-hand corner there on his portrait. EVA stands for extravehicular activity. You can walk around on any surface you're on. You also can run by holding the shift key. And if you're on a surface or in the atmosphere or in orbit or whatever, you could always use your jetpack. But on Kerbin, our gravity is too strong, so it doesn't really do very much. But if you're flying around in space, it works really well. You can turn that on and off with the R key. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of walk around a little bit. And what we're going to do is, since we're here, we're going to go ahead and take a surface sample, which is kind of useless. But it does give us a lot of science. I took a sample of soil. It's very muddy and sandy. There might be a body of water nearby. So basically that means this is one of those like shore biomes. Yep, sample of Kerbin shores. We're going to keep that. So there's different biomes on the surface of Kerbin, so you can get science from checking all of them out by landing in your guy there, or heck, you could even probably walk. But we'll see what you guys feel like doing. And what we're also going to do before we get back into the pod here, it just makes it a little bit easier for me to go back into the pod. We are going to do an EVA report. So what that does is he makes some observations and whatever. This is all brand new features, so I'm not exactly sure what all of them do just yet, but I've noticed I'm getting more science by doing majority of these steps every flight. So we're going to keep that. So he made an observation. We are going to walk back over. I'm going to right click and store my experiments. And I don't know if that's entirely necessary, but I do it just in case. Crew report. Oh wait, we already have a crew report. So we basically have done enough for this flight, and I'm pretty sure that we have enough science to unlock the next tech tree. So I'm going to go ahead and press the escape key. We're going to go back to the Space Center. If you go ahead and click revert flight on that choose thing there, you don't really get anything from it. So And if you want to recover him, because he was way over there, Mr. Jebediah, for future use, and if you want to gain that science back, truthfully, hold on one second. I want to see how much I got. Because I did do a transmission. Yes, I do have 1 science now. 1. So that transmission did work. Very cool. So to basically get them back, you want to go into that, where are we at? Let's go back out again. Sorry. Tracking station? Yes, tracking station. Click on that. You'll get a nice view of Kerbin at the beginning. You can always choose your body as much as you want. This is our current solar system that we live in this game, of course. There's basically a sun, there's an inner planet, second, third, of course, this is Kerbin. It's a very, very similar system to the current solar system we live in now. In real life, of course. We have a Mun, which is basically the moon, but there's also a second captured body by Kerbin, which is very interesting, called Minmus. Can't speak English today, or Kerbal. There's also a few other planets that we might be able to visit in this series. So we're going to go ahead and return back to here. We don't really need to. It's just a very nice view. As you can kind of tell, it looks like a smished together Earth. Best way to look at it is, as you can tell right here, this kind of looks like Europe and Africa. That's a really, really cool view there. And as you can tell, there's probably some other good signs of other countries, but I'm not really good at this, so... Oh, no. Yeah, geography was definitely not my strong suit. But either way, this does look like a just kind of a mushed together old, maybe in the future, Earth. So we're going to go ahead and pick our current flight that's in progress, and we're going to recover it since it is safe and within recovering distance. Sure to want to recover this vessel? Yes, we'll recover it. And we got 19.9 science earned from this mission. So these are all the things that we did. Recovery of a vessel that survived a flight. 5 science. Sweet. EVA report. That was that 2.4 we did on the ground, on the shores. The surface sample from the shores. In other words, they just didn't feel like going outside and digging up some of their own soil. So I got science for it. Crew report while flying over Kerbin shores. So, oh yes, I did one of those. That was cool. And we got 3.5 science for that. So we got a lot. We might be able to open up a next branch. I'm not exactly sure anymore. So we're done. We're going to go back to the research and development building. Pick basic rocketry. Oh, we only needed 5, so we got way more. Overkill. And we're going to get these parts whenever we click this research. And it's going to open up more branches for us. And those require 20, which we don't have. We only have 16. So I think we'll be able to unlock one more of these this episode. Stacked coupler, mystery goo containment unit. This is a very, very good thing to have. Stacked coupler, I was talking about that earlier. Fuel tank and fuel tank. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of throw together another rocket here. So we're going to do Dom Mark 2. Oh, 1 equals 2. Save it. I'm going to leave the parachute on top. We're going to go ahead and throw one of these and these. Oh, but before we do that, we're going to do something even more fun. We're going to throw a stacked coupler on there. So this, basically what it does, is it separates stages. Very, very useful. So that I am no longer attached to these fuel tanks if I activate this stage. And it comes down in our tree right here as a second thing. It automatically does that for you in the second stage. So we're also going to grab one of these. Actually, we might even just stack a bunch of these together and see how high we can get. 4 of them. Let's try it. Pretty sure you actually can get darn far with this. Let's do 4. I don't know why I did that. Let's do 4. Cool. So our engine is separate from our stacked coupler here. And cool, it looks good. Let's see what else we can throw in here. Aha, there's my mystery goo containment unit. We are going to go ahead and turn on our symmetry mode here and attach them to the sides. The reason why I like to use symmetry is, number one, it looks better, and number two, it balances out your center of lift, center of gravity at all times. So my center of gravity is still around, center of thrust, sorry. Center of mass is still centered around the same center of thrust and lift. So I'm going to turn those off. And the reason why you want to do that is just so it flies right. Or get it as close as you can. You'll see tippage if you don't. I don't know if that's the real word, but I'll call it that. So we're going to save that, and we're going to try this one. And now, difference between this version and the last version we just played is that this one's going to require us to throttle up. So I'm going to go ahead and push the shift key, and down here you can see us swinging our throttle, and push my space bar to activate my stage. Oh yeah, this is going to be slow. Maybe 3 was probably the best of ideas. Now, these mystery goo containment units, they're at the top. They contain mystery goo. They are for us to expose to different situations. And what that happens is we observe what happens to the goo, and it gives us science. So we're going to do that as soon as we get up as high as we want to. And we're just going to go vertically again, as much as we can. All this fuel is kind of weighing us down, so we might not get very high today. Just about halfway. 310 is our halfway point for liquid fuel. Let's see if we can get through an atmosphere here. As soon as you start going through some of these atmospheres, it ends up being a little bit better. 3. I'm going to go ahead and do a crew report. Sounds good. We'll transmit that back. And the cool part is we're going to gain a lot of our electricity back because our engines are firing. And they kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Recharge our batteries. We're going to go ahead and open this one. Let it get, it seems to be getting very cold now. So we're going to keep that one. As you can tell, we're in this middle atmosphere area. We're going to keep on swinging up a little bit, and then we're going to be a little bit higher than that. We're going very, very high into the atmosphere now. We're going to be going into very high space. Straight up. Just for now, we are... Wow. Wow. I don't even think I did this in the previous version. Oh yeah. And we should be out of fuel. There it goes. Okay, so... Now, one of the cool things is whenever you get out into space, you can speed up time. I don't know if I particularly want to do that just yet. And another thing that we want to do now is, since we are out of fuel, and this is now dead weight, there's not really very much of a point for us to be attached to it. So what I'm going to do is hit spacebar, and we will separate. And now we're going just a little bit faster than it, and it's going to go away from us forever. If we hit the M key to show the map, this is our apoapsis, so that is the highest point in our orbit that we will be going. It will take us 8 minutes to get there. Now, I don't have 8 minutes, so what we're going to do is we're going to... Oops, apparently we're throttled up. I'll pull this back up here. Hit my X key to get rid of our throttle. And we're going to go ahead and speed ourselves up. You can also do this by hitting the greater than or less than keys. We're very, very high out of the atmosphere. Not anywhere within orbiting distance, like the moon is. The mun. So we're going to go ahead and turn that back off. So we made it just about up to the highest point we'll ever hit on our trajectory here. And we're going to do something fun. We're going to do an EVA. Extravehicular activity. Oops. Get back out. We are going to let go, spacebar, and press our R key. And here we go. Jebediah is floating freely in space. I'll hit L, turn on our headlights. See, he's got headlights on his mask there. Just so we can, whenever we get close to the ship, it'll kind of light it up. So that's our ship. And that is how we're going to do this from now on. Just kind of going to get some science here by grabbing on. Oop. You don't have to grab on, I just tend to like to. UVA report. I'm going to keep that. Oops. I missed. And what we're going to do also is we're going to board. We're going to do a crew report. We're going to keep that or transmit it. Let's transmit it. Let's see what that ends up doing for us. Cool. So we got 5 science. Sweet. And then we can do another. Nope, not worth it. We'll do that when we get a little bit lower. We're still actually climbing. So another thing I want to do when I'm up here is observe my mystery goo. See how much that'll get me. 10. Ooh, that's perfect. Awesome. So we got a lot. Next thing we got to do is just kind of head home. And we'll do another crew report when we get a little bit lower. So I'll see you guys there. And speeding up time. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. Sped up time so fast. It also really cool feature is that once you start entering an atmosphere, it actually slows down time again, or you get too close to orbit, slows down time again. So what I'm going to do, since we're entering orbit, I want to turn off SAS so that we right ourselves. And I'm going to just kind of let the atmosphere slow us down a little bit. We have entered. We're going way too fast. I'm going to go ahead and deploy the parachute with the spacebar again. And we have basically reached a very, very fast terminal velocity. We didn't go through the atmosphere for very long since it was a vertical flight. If we were going at an angle, we would have gone through for a lot longer distance. But for this, for recording, it's so much better. Cool. There goes our parachute. That means we're within 500 meters. And I'm going to go ahead and do a crew report. Great view of the Highlands. We're going to keep that. And the next thing we're going to do is grab some soil samples from the Highlands. Since we're over here, might as well. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Let's warp it up a little bit. I see my shadow. Get bigger, shadow. Okay. And just about touchdown. Shoot, hopefully we don't break anything. Yes, okay, good. Cool, let's do an EVA here. Let's grab some soil samples. Take surface sample. We'll keep that. And then we will grab and board. Awesome. Oh, wait. I think I want... whatever. It's fine. We're boarded. We are going to... Whoa, that was cool. Recover vessel. Oh, you didn't know you could do it from here. That's awesome. Wow, we got 68 science from that. No, we got 45.5. Man, we got a lot. That's awesome. Cool. So that's basically it. That's a science summary for Dom Mark II. And that's also going to be the end of this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and see you guys next time.